Let us see how coordination in plants takes place. Unlike animals, plants do not have a nervous system or muscular system. Then how do they exhibit movements? The movements exhibited by plants are mainly in response to the stimulus. In certain sensitive plants, like mimosa, movement is in response to the stimulus of touch. This movement is known as seismonastic movement. There is no growth involved in this movement. On the other hand, the movement of a seedling is because of growth. If growth is prevented, seedling does not exhibit any movement. Here we conclude that plants exhibit two types of movements. One which is growth-dependent movement and the other which is growth-independent movement. Activity. Take a wide-mouthed, shallow bottle. Put some moist cotton in it. Place a few sprouted seeds on it. Observe the directions of growth of radicle and plumule. Radicle grows in the downward direction and plumule grows in the upward direction. Pick up one of the sprouts and place it in such a way that the radicle is towards the source of light and the plumule is away from light. Observe the directions of growth daily. What do you conclude from your observations? We can see that radicle grows in the direction away from the light. Plumule grows in the direction of the light. Students, it is interesting to know that tendrils are sensitive to touch. When they come in contact with any object, the portion of the tendril which is in contact becomes sluggish, whereas growth is faster at the other portion. This causes the tendril to entwine itself around the object and thus cling to it. Movements in plants which are growth dependent. The movement or growth of any part of a plant in response to an external stimulus is called tropism or tropic movements. The shoot system of any plant responds towards the stimulus of light, that is, it grows in the direction of the source of light. When a potted plant is kept near the window in a room, you would observe that the stem bends slightly towards the window. This movement exhibited by the plant is called phototropic movement. When light falls on a part of growing plant, a hormone called auxin, which is synthesized at the tip of the shoot, helps the cells to grow longer. As the light is falling on one side of the plant, this hormone auxin diffuses towards the side of the shoot which is not in sunlight and stimulates the cells to grow longer. Hence the plant appears to bend towards the light. On the other hand, the root system of the plants responds to the stimulus of gravity and water. These responses are called gravitropic and hydrotropic movements respectively. Chemotropism is the movement of plant part in response to certain chemicals. Example, the growth of pollen tubes towards the ovules. Other examples of plant hormones are gibberellins, cytokinins, abscisic acid, etc. Gibberellins help in the growth of the stem. Cytokinins promote cell division and hence is found in greater concentration in areas where rapid cell division takes place, such as fruits and seeds. Auxins, gibberellins and cytokinins helps in promoting growth. Abscisic acid is a plant hormone which inhibits growth, leading to wilting of leaves. Movements in plants which are growth independent. Certain movements of plants do not result in their growth and are termed as movements which are growth independent. Hormones bring about various movements in plants in response to the changes occurring in its surroundings. On close observation, we see that the movement also happens at a place different from the place of touch. So we conclude that the information that a touch has occurred must have been communicated. The plants use electrical or chemical means to transfer information from one cell to another, as there is no specialized tissue present for the conduction of information. Then the movement is brought about as the plant cells change their shapes by altering the amount of water in them. The cells either swell or shrink and thus change their shapes. The Venus flytrap has a trap which looks and smells like a flower to insects. When they land on it, they touch a trigger hair which slams the trap shut, and they are then digested by the plant. Some other movements seen in plants which are growth independent are lotus opening in the morning and the tuberose at night. The tentacles on the leaves of the insectivorous plants like Drosera curl inwards at the touch of an insect and trap the insect. The explosive fruit of balsam plant burst open at appropriate time, thus scattering the seeds. Let us see how control and coordination takes place in human beings. In human beings, different activities are taking place simultaneously. They need to be coordinated efficiently and effectively. The coordination of different bodily activities are controlled by two mechanisms, namely nervous control and chemical control. The components of the human nervous system are the brain, spinal cord, and the nerves.